Greetings, everybody. I'm Amy Holmes with a special hot list at theblaze.com. Today I'm joined by Kevin Sorbo. You know him as Hercules, star of one of the most popular shows of all time, and that's no exaggeration. It was and still is seen by audiences around the world. Well, I know him from our first appearance on TV together years and years ago when Kevin was still in the closet politically. But now he's out and he's here at The Blaze, and we welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us.
I love Hercules, but you gotta, I mean, I had 5 years in Andromeda too. You gotta
yes,
give
I
Gene
love that
Roddenberry
show
a plug, you know, so I'm a big Star Trek fan. This was the first show he wrote after Star Trek, so
absolutely.
I gotta give a plug for it.
So Kevin, you're here at The Blaze,
yeah,
a conservative news outlet. Are you afraid that this might hurt your acting
Are you conservative?
career?
Is this
I'm a conservative,
yeah?
yes.
It's already hurt my acting career. You know, Hollywood's an interesting place. I mean, I don't deal with the anger issues that they deal with, and it gets frustrating at times, certainly. But yeah, I am definitely a conservative-minded guy. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in working hard. I believe in not living off the government if you're able to. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm all for helping people who truly need help.
Of course.
But when 100 million people are living off the government in some way or form, then something's going on that's wrong. There's not 100 million people that need my money, but so they're taking advantage of it.
So as I mentioned, when we first met, we did Politically Incorrect.
Long
time ago. It was before the 2000 election, and you were very discreet.
I had to be quiet in there. My publicist was very nervous about things.
So what changed?
I just got tired of it. I got tired of Hollywood. I find a lot of liberals as a whole, they operate on anger, they operate on emotion, they operate in that John Lennon imagined kumbaya world, and I operate on reality. You know, I grew up in a very democratic family. My father was a liberal, my father was a teacher, my mother was a nurse, and it was all about you know, Humphrey and Mondale in Minnesota and things like that. But my dad instilled in all five of us kids hard work. He didn't say, let's be lazy. He said, you have to work hard in life, and you'll be rewarded for that, no matter what you decide to do with your life. So I just took that with me, and I just found that the left just kept going more and more further left, and my belief stayed here. I'm sort of like Dennis Miller in that way.
Right.
Whereas
Ronald Reagan said, I didn't leave the Democratic Party.
It left me, and I totally agree with that. It's changed drastically, and it's like, I think it was Stalin or somebody said, don't worry about America, it'll come our way eventually. When they can find out they can vote for free stuff. You know, when you promise people free things, there are plenty of people who go, oh boy, I want to sign up for that, but it's not free. You know, we're still paying for it. We're still, and right now we're in the country is, you look at Detroit, look at what's happening here in New York City. These social programs are starting to suffocate the way people live and the way they do business and the way people want to do business. Who wants to do business and all the restrictions and all the red tape and all the...
Well, we're seeing a lot of businesses moving from California to Texas.
Yes,
so I want to ask you, you know, about the politics of Hollywood, the fact that your politics are very different from a lot of Hollywood.
Sure.
We've seen actress Stacey Dash. She's someone that our viewers really like, and she endorsed Mitt Romney back in 2012, and she's suffered vicious backlash. How has it affected you?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They vote. It's anger. You can hit them up with facts all you want, and it doesn't matter. Facts don't want to make sense to them. You can destroy them with facts, and all they say is you're wrong. There's no proof to show me why I'm wrong. So I've always said, where does socialism work? Tell me one place where it works.
Have you had specific professional experiences where your politics has come up?
Oh, sure. And I know. I got to go back to 2008. Election. I was shooting a movie prior to the election. I'm working with a lot of kids under 30 years of age. I don't think anyone should vote until they're 25 anyway. They shouldn't be allowed. When you're 18, 19, 20, you don't know anything. Right. You know, most of them don't, and they shouldn't be allowed to vote because they vote only on emotion anyway.
Vote when you get your first paycheck.
Yeah, vote when you're actually paying taxes. I think if you're paying taxes, you're allowed to vote. But I was on the set, and they said, wouldn't it be cool to have a black president? I said, well, is that what you're voting for? Yeah, then people won't think that we're racist. And I said, but that's a racist statement. I said, if I'm voting for McCain, you'd call me a racist if I said I'm voting because he'd be cool to have a white president. Why doesn't it work both ways? That's the weird thing. They don't want. They want to have it their way, and you can't have it. The hypocrisy is just huge. And I said, well, if you believe in his policies, if you believe in what he stands for, then vote for him. You have that right. But if you're voting for him purely on that, that upsets me because your vote counts the same as mine. And I'm voting on, look, I voted for Reagan, I voted for Clinton. I'm an independent voter. I vote for who's the right person that I believe is the right person, period. I don't vote on just on party. I vote who I think is the best person to run this country. And I got to say, both sides, to me, I think we should just I think last time on Facebook before the election, I said, vote everybody out.
Well, that's
Let's get new people
right
in
now,
vote everybody out.
So I'm asking you about the politics behind the camera. What about in front of the camera? I also know that you've done a lot of family-oriented films and Christian-oriented films. Do you find that's kind of tough to make in this sort of pop culture?
And Hollywood's weird about that. Why are Christians taking the bashing they're taking? If you're Muslim, you're supposed to bend over backwards and teach kids the Quran, and we're supposed to be patient with this religion because you don't want people attacking the radical part of it that has really caused a lot of the, let's face it, for the last 40 years, a lot of problems in the world. And yet, if you say you're a Christian in Hollywood, you get bashed for that, and I don't quite get it. To me, it's like live and let live. I don't really care what your religion is.
Why don't we see more Christian-themed entertainment out of mainstream Hollywood?
Well, Blindside had that. Blindside, you could put it in that faith-based world.
I did interview the star of Blindside.
Did you?
He was a really interesting young man. Charming man.
Yeah, and it's certainly, Hollywood is all about show business, hopefully. There's still a lot of politics in Hollywood in terms of who they want to cast and who they want to put in parts and what movies they want to make, even though the movies don't make money. But I think that movie opened up their, Fox opened Fox Faith, Sony opened up, oh my God, Affirmed.
Okay.
So they opened up these divisions that dealt with movies that dealt with more of a family-based or religion-based. I don't want to stuff it down people's throats. I just want to put up movies that are good. I'm a Christian, that's my business. But I still want to put up movies that are good message, good core values, things like that, things that this country's getting away from.
So tell us a little bit about the projects you're working on. You brought a couple of books
I did.
here.
Chicken Soup for the Soul just came. It comes out October 29th. You can get it anywhere and everywhere. It's a book that I co-authored with Amy Newmark and the company of Chicken Soup. It's been around for I don't know how many years, hundreds of years, millions of books. And it's a book that really, it's for 7 to 12-year-olds to read and hopefully get conversations going with their parents, relatives, family, friends, teachers, whatever it may be. And it's about core values. It's about self-esteem. It's stories from individuals, 101 individuals. I wrote one myself. Great. And it deals with everybody's own story of what happened to them as they were a kid that was a turning point in their life in a positive way. And it's all about really just sending out positive messages to kids.
Sounds like something adults could read.
It certainly can be read for adults. I think it even says in there for all ages.
For all ages, there we are. And you brought a second book that is co-authored by 2 people that I know.
Yeah.
One is standing right over there, and your wife Sam. So tell us about this, The Answer.
Well, hopefully they'll be here. They'll be here next week to talk to you about it.
Fantastic.
But in the Cliff Note version of it, it's really just proving the existence of God.
Wow.
I just want to leave it at that.
And your
I'm going to
wife
let them
took
talk
that on.
about it. Yes, my wife and Marius both took that on, and it's a wonderful read, wonderful good book. And I wrote a little clip on the back here. I said, atheists won't like this book. But that's a whole different thing. But,
Excellent. And before we go, my one last question. You've told me stories about being a tall man in Hollywood. So which is more difficult, being tall or being conservative?
I think being conservative is tougher. But I have certainly lost jobs because of my height, which is the weird thing in Hollywood. Because I'm almost 6'4".
Right. Psst, by the way, a lot of those action stars, they're really shrimpy. They're really
I never said that. Maybe off camera.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. It's
my
a
pleasure.
pleasure. All right.
Good to see you again.
Thanks, everybody. That was a special hot list with Kevin Sorbo. You can buy his book. We got it right here, Chicken Soup for the Soul, for your 7 to 12-year-olds and all ages. Thanks so much for joining us.
KevinSorbo.net.